Today, we're going to talk about the first appearances and key issues for the greatest day of the week. New Comic Book Day, June 22nd, 2022. That's coming up next. I'm Jimmy Don Kerr, and this is the Small Town Collectibles YouTube channel. So before we get into talking about all the first appearances, the key issues, and all the cool covers coming out this week, I want to ask you, if you're not already subscribed to the channel, do that now. Hit that subscription button. Turn on that notification bell so that you get notified when I put out new content. Smash that like button and leave a comment below and let me know what you think about the video. All right, with all that out of the way, let's jump into our first category. And as always, that's our covers. First up this week, and I have a ton of covers, but I should say that before I get started. I got a ton of covers this week. There was a ton of stuff that stood out to me. So first up, we start with DC, and the first one is Batman World's Finest #4, the cover C variant by Dan Mora. That's called the Fusion cover. Absolutely love this. White background with Batman coming through in the gray and that red color pop. Absolutely love that. Very, very sick cover. Staying with DC, we've got Black Adam #1, the cover A, another white cover or a white background with Black Adam in the black suit and the gold lightning bolt on his chest. Absolutely love this one as well. Excited for Black Adam this week. Also, another Black Adam cover. We've got the Black Adam cover C variant by Lucio Perillo. Now, absolutely Perillo at his best. This is a gorgeous cover. Now, the one that I'm showing on the screen is the cover H, which is the incentive full virgin cover. And I'm seeing prices on that one online for $135. But the cover C variant, to me, just as gorgeous and one I'm definitely looking to pick up this week. Next cover is Nightwing #93. This is the 1/25 variant. This one's by Serge Acuna. Just a gorgeous Nightwing cover. This one stood out to me immediately when I saw it. Now, let's jump over to Dynamite. We've got Samurai Sonya #1. This is the cover A, and it's another Lucio Perillo cover. And I just think this cover is beautiful. Again, classic Perillo. Got that red background, which I love, but just the depiction of the character on the cover is just gorgeous. This is Perillo at his finest, and Perillo's killing it this week, man. With Black Adam, with this cover, yeah, this is another one I'm definitely on the lookout for. Now, there are different versions of this. The one on the screen is the cover A, but they've got the ultraviolet version. There's a bunch of different incentives that you may want to check out as well. All right, let's jump over to Image for a cover. We've got Hellcop #8, the cover B variant by Brian Haberlin and Gerard Van Dyke. I don't know what to say about this one other than when I saw it, I was like, God, this is gorgeous. I mean, it's just a beautiful cover. And yeah, one I'm definitely on the lookout for. Been reading Hellcop as well. Good story. This is volume 2 that this comes from, but yeah, absolutely fire cover. Love this one. Must pick up for me this week. All right, now let's jump over to Marvel. First up, I've got Punisher War Journal Blitz #1, the 1/25 variant cover by Torrin Clark. Just again, red background that always stands out to me. We've got the red background with the Punisher, the new Punisher logo in white. Punisher standing in the middle of it. Just a sick cover. Absolutely love this one. If you're a Punisher fan, I think this is a must pick up. Now, this one I put on here, not because I think it's just a fire cover. I've been picking these up because I think there's some spec value in them. And that's Star Wars Crimson Reign #1. This is the variant cover by Raza. This is the last, I believe, of a 5-issue connecting cover featuring the Knights of Ren. And so there's a bunch of first cover appearances on here. And so, yeah, I've been collecting these since Crimson Reign started, and this may be one you want to be on the lookout for. This next cover comes from Opus, and it is sick. I am down with the sickness. This is the Disturbed Dark Messiah #2 cover C incentive David Finch wraparound cover. Disturbed, their hit song, Down with the Sickness. This is a phenomenal cover. Like, if I can find this, I'm buying it. I didn't read the first issue of this, but if I can find this cover, it's a must-have for me this week. From Zenoscope, we've got Grimm Fairy Tales Presents Robin Hood Annual 2022 #1. This is the Children of Darkness cover C by Ivan Tao. Again, just beautiful. It's just a gorgeous, gorgeous cover. It's white on white. I don't know who the character is. I don't read Grimm fairy tales. But immediately when I saw this cover, I was like, dude, that's beautiful. I have to have that one. So that's another one. My wallet's going to take a beating this week, guys. I'm just telling you, these covers this week are just sick. Then we jump over to Warrant Publishing, and this is Vampirus Carmilla Magazine number 10. Now, this is not normally the type of book or cover that I would like, but this looks a lot like those old Conan magazine style covers, and I always thought those were cool. My boy Gary B, the casual comic guy, big Conan guy, but this looks like a painted cover, and I don't know, it just stood out to me. I think it's gorgeous. Another beautiful cover this week. Yeah, so if you're into that kind of title, you might want to be on the lookout for that one. A couple Something is Killing the Children variants this week. We got Something is Killing the Children number 24. This is the 1 in 50 cover E variant by Jenny Friesen. Now, there's been a lot of these come out. The last several books that have been dropped by Something is Killing the Children. But you've got this one. The one on the screen is, there's one with a mask. Same face, but with a mask on. This one is without the mask. It's kind of eerie looking. I dig it. But probably my favorite Something is Killing the Children cover is the number 24 1 in 25 variant. That's the cover D, and that is by Oliver Barrett. You just got that red background. She's got the chainsaw. Absolutely dig it. Yeah, that one really stood out to me as well. All right, guys, that is it for the covers this week. A ton of really, really cool covers. The publisher stepped it up with their cover art this week. Absolutely going to be a tough week on the wallet when it comes to the covers. All right, now, let's jump into our second prints, and we're going to start with DC. We've got Jurassic League number 1, the cover D second print from one Gideon. We also have Justice League number 1, cover E second print from one Gideon. This is the incentive cover, and it's a virgin cover. And I actually dig this cover. Again, one of those covers that I wouldn't necessarily think I would like normally, but I dig this one. I think this is really cool. So you got those 2 second prints, 2 different versions of the same book coming out, 1 trade dress, 1 virgin. That's Jurassic League number 1. Now, let's jump over to Marvel. We've got Hulk versus Thor, Banner of War, Alpha number 1. This was the one-shot. This is the cover H second print. This one looks like a video game, or I call it the video game variant. Kind of looks like a video game cover. But the one that really stands out, same book. This is the second print incentive. This is the cover I, and it's a black and white cover. Absolutely gorgeous. I probably should have put it in my favorite covers this week, but I had so many. This one didn't make the cut, but this is a sick, sick cover as well. You might want to be on the lookout for that. Now, the last second print we have this week is Knights of X number 1. This is the cover H second print from Bob Quinn. All right, with second prints done, let's jump over into our one-shots. Got several of those again this week. First up, we've got Milestones in History number 1. This is an 80-page anthology of true Black history stories narrated by characters from the Milestone universe. Also from DC, we've got Superman's pal, Jimmy Olsen's boss, Perry White, number 1. Of course, this is a one-shot. This is a 48-page one-shot comic. We revisit the Daily Planet and read a new 7-page short story from Matt Fraction and Steve Leiber. Then see Perry White's career through the years with reprinted stories by Elliot S. Maggin and Kurt Swan, Neil Clyde, and Dean Haspel. We also have Brian Michael Bendis and Evan Reese with a new cover by Lieber and Fairbairn. Now, over to Marvel. Marvel Voices Pride 2022 number 1. This is an anthology of short stories celebrating Marvel's LGBTQ+ community. Miles Morales and Moon Girl number 1, the one-shot. This is the first of 3 one-shots featuring Moon Girl. The following 2 will feature the Avengers and then the X-Men. Punisher War Journal Blitz number 1, also a one-shot. The first of 3 one-shots exploring Frank Castle's new modus operandi through some of his deadliest missions yet. From Source Point Press, we've got Classic Pulp Sci-Fi number 1. Collected here are vintage tales of science fiction, curated and digitally remastered to their original colors and quality by Joshua Warner. This is a must-have for fans of science fiction and classic pulp comics. Gotta love those synopsises. Gotta sell it to you. All right, next up from Ahoy Comics, we've got Wrong Earth Confidence Men number 1. The Wrong Earth continues its season of one-shots with a compelling tale by the superstar team of Mark Waid and Leonard Kirk. After a few near catastrophic mistakes by the Stingers of Earth Alpha and Earth Omega, the heroes of both Earths decide to teach their sidekicks some hard lessons. Can these junior partners live up to the expectations of Dragonfly and Dragonfly Man, or will they ultimately be pushed too far? So yeah, some good one-shots coming out this week. That wraps those up. Now let's jump into our key issues, and as always, we start with DC. First up, we've got Aquaman and the Flash Void Song #1. This is a 3-issue limited series featuring remaining heroes, the Flash and Aquaman versus an invasion from the stars. Probably one of the most popular books that'll be out this week, with the trailer that just dropped, Black Adam #1. After being infected by a plague that erodes his immortality, Black Adam transfers his powers to a worthy successor. Really looking forward to that one. That trailer got me excited. The Rock's going to be awesome as Black Adam, so can't wait to check that out. Last book from DC this week, Dark Crisis Young Justice #1. This is a 6-issue tie-in to Dark Crisis featuring Wonder Girl, Cassie Sandsmark, searching for Tim Drake, Impulse, and Superboy. All right, that wraps up DC. As I said, let's jump over into Marvel. First up, we've got Miles Morales, Spider-Man #39. The Empire of the Spider Story arc continues. Been a great read. That's why I included it here on the list. If you're not reading Miles, need to check that out. New Fantastic Four #1. This is a 5-issue limited series featuring Spider-Man, Hulk, Wolverine, and Ghost Rider. Wrapping up our Marvel books this week, Star Wars Crimson Reign #5. This is the conclusion of the 5-issue limited series. With the big 2 out of the way, let's jump into the indie keys this week. First up from Behemoth, we've got Illusion Witch #1. The Illusion Witch tells the story of Adia Locke, a world-famous illusionist traumatized by the loss of her father and son. She has become cold and disconnected from reality. Transported into Sari, a fantasy world filled with magic and danger, Adia is paired with a talking Qual, a warrior, his son, and a powerful mage. Hunted by the three, a wraith with monstrous intentions, Adia will face her inner demons while battling real-life monsters in her attempt to save herself and Sari. So that looks kind of interesting to me. I like the idea of magic and those things. I think that could be a cool story. Next, we jump over to Coffin Comics, and we've got Tales of the Coffinverse #1. The epic villainy of Insurrectus and his monstrous progeny extends beyond the known universe. Only those willing to take a stand can stop him. In separate stories from across the Infinityverse, meet the Trust, outlaw superheroes who fight the supernatural, Captain Scargrave, intergalactic space pirate, and sails the haunted galaxy macabre. Lady Gunfighter, Wild West loner, armed with demonic guns and a bad attitude, and Captain Death, who opposes the monsters during 1945's World War Hell as a Satanist invades Europe, told in 60s Marvel style. There can only be 2 outcomes: victory or total deathpocalypse. Deathpocalypse, I'm in, sold. From Dark Horse, we've got Lonesome Hunters #1. This is another book I'm looking forward to checking out this week. An aged monster hunter and a young girl set out on a road trip to battle ancient evils in a story that explores how early traumas can haunt us even in old age. Yeah, it's kind of deep. I like that. Lonesome Hunters #1. From Dynamite, and a book that I would not normally read, but absolutely the cover has sold me on this. I'm definitely grabbing one, giving this a read through for sure. That is Samurai Sonya #1. This is a reimagining of Red Sonja that takes place in the Sengoku period of Japan. I think that looks so cool. I'm definitely going to check that one out. Let's jump over to Image. We've got a couple of titles over there. Beware the Eye of Odin #1. When a Viking prince finds the Eye of Odin, he must return it to its rightful owner or face death. I like that way that sounds. Definitely want to check that one out as well. Then we have Spawn 30th Anniversary #1, Cover A blank cover. To celebrate the 30th anniversary of Spawn with Image Comics, Spawn #1 will be reissued for the first time with a blank sketch cover. I think that's cool. 30th anniversary, get Spawn #1, you can take it to a con with all those opening back up and get you a very, very cool drawing on that cover. I think that's cool. So be on the lookout for that, you Spawn fans. All right, let's jump over to Source Point Press to wrap up our key issues this week. First up, we've got Nook #1. Fleeing the oppression of World War II Germany, Avery and her parents moved to a remote town on the border of France, only to discover their new is haunted by a dark past and a cat named Nook. Swept up in a deadly cycle of violence, Avery will come to both fear and love her fuzzy new friend as the dark and twisted history of her new home is revealed. I don't know. I think that sounds cool. I'm not necessarily into the demonic cat necessarily. I've had demonic cats in the past, so I'm not a fan, but I might check out number 1 from SourcePoint Press for sure. All right, wrapping up the key issues this week, we've got Monstrous Book of the Dead, number 1. The father-daughter mummy duo is back, and they want to find the long-lost Book of the Dead, so they have the power to complete their family once again. But the Book of the Dead is hidden and guarded by robots, mysteries, and the supernatural powers of ancient Egypt. Join the search for mystical powers guarded by the ageless Egyptian gods in the ultimate cosmic treasure hunt for the secrets of life and death themselves. Grab the Book of the Dead while you can. Sounds a whole lot like Doctor Strange, the second one, Multiverse of Madness, the Book of the Dead, Wanda trying to put her family back together. I don't know. Could be a cool book. Monstrous Book of the Dead, number 1. All right, that's it for our key issues. Let's jump into our first appearances. First up from DC, Batman Superman World's Finest number 4. This is the first appearance of a Batman Superman mashup character referred to as New by artist Dan Mora, so definitely be on the lookout for that. Also with DC, we've got Catwoman number 44. This is the first full appearance of Red Claw in the mainstream DC universe. Her first appearance happens on the final page, number 43. Now, Red Claw also appeared in the DC animated series Gotham Adventures number 3. Staying with DC, we've got Duo number 2, where we've got the possible first cameo or full team appearance of the Immutables. Could not confirm that, but I definitely want to have it on here so you can be on the lookout for it. Next up is Black Adam number 1. We get the first appearance of Bolt, a successor who receives Black Adam's powers. So definitely, again, I'm excited for that book this week. So the first appearance in that one as well. Now, over to Marvel. We've got Marvel Voices Pride number 1. We get the first appearance of Escapade. Punisher World Journal Blitz number 1. We get the first appearance of a new Hate Monger. And that's it. That wraps up our first appearances this week and our list for New Comic Book Day, June 22nd, 2022. A lot of great stuff out there this week. A ton of stuff I want to read. A ton of covers I'm going to have to pick up for sure. So yeah, hope this list helps you in some way on New Comic Book Day. Make the choices of the books that you want to pick up. If you enjoy this type of content, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so that you get notified when I put out new content. Leave a comment below. Let me know what books you're looking at this week. Hope you guys have the greatest New Comic Book Day ever. I know I'm going to. You know how we end these. Until next time.